It's a new year and it's actually been 6 months since I launched my own shop. So I think it's about time for a huge overhaul, don't you? Oh, this is such a mess. I just filmed a video, as you can tell, and it's literally so dark. Well, anyway, let's talk about the shop. What is happening in 2026? The biggest part is actually in here because most of the shop drop revolves around Inktober. We're gonna have to scan the majority of it because there's gonna be another set of mystery minis on the shop. If you don't know what mystery minis are, they are like tiny little stickers, little mystery packs, and there'll be like 20 options. If I can narrow it down to 20, could be more, who knows? And you get 2 tiny little stickers. They're not actually that small, to be fair. But these ones are going to be square, so they're probably going to be quite cute. There's going to be prints on the shop as well as the mystery minis and a couple of individual stickers. Finally, there's going to be prints on the shop from the Scene series. I've been trying to narrow it down, but it's really difficult because you don't know what show or movie people might like, as well as the art. I made a collage of various Inktober pieces, Scene series pieces, and then miscellaneous. But the most successful items on the shop by far were the stickers. Like, everyone loves stickers, but that means we're gonna need more stickers. And then we need to find random other pieces of art to be stickers. I've got a couple of sticker bundles in mind. Everyone loves stickers, we need to find more. First things first, we need to scan Inktober, the top 25 pieces. This is gonna take a while. There are about 25 pieces to scan from Inktober. It's taking forever, but I'm not going to show you every single one. It's literally just a lot of this back and forth, and then it's editing.
And everything I felt was new. You told me that you weren't ready, but then you act like we're going steady. I knew I was gone.
The results are in. They're a little bit surprising, I'm gonna be honest. So I asked what people's favourites were out of each of them. Interestingly, Inktober and Miscellaneous got the most votes. So maybe people weren't as keen on the Scene series. To be fair, the names of the movies weren't there, so maybe they just weren't quite sure where they came from. Maybe they don't like them, who knows? Well, okay, with that, Inktober. Top 3 are Crown, Deer, and Skeletal. That I'm not surprised about. However, my favorites are Pierce and Sting. Rivals, I also love Rivals. They didn't get many votes, but Pierce I love so much, I think I am still gonna make her a print. The Scene series. Okay, number 1 by far is Lilo and Stitch. Then the Terrifier, and also Jennifer's Body. I don't think we got enough votes to really go from there. Rocky Horror Picture Show, 101 Dalmatians, and E.T. did get some votes. I think we're going to be doing less prints than I thought. Miscellaneous is interesting. Surprisingly, the highest voted is Clown from Mermaid. There's also the Skull from the 4 Spooky Sketchbook Ideas. The Create This Book ones have already been scanned. And a couple from the Daily Doodle Diary. Because the paper is so warped, I'm going to scan it, I'm going to press it down and see what we can do. Inktober is all edited and ready for the first test print, but we need some other tests to go on the same page.
Thought things would change as we blurred the lines, but you only want me sometimes. You made the rules from the get-go, but I would follow you if you said so. If you change your mind, but for tonight I'll pretend everything's okay. For tonight I'll pretend I don't feel this way. I'll pretend that we're just friends, like you said, like I'm not wishing for more.
Already things are changing. Instead of picking individual pieces from the Daily Doodle Diary, why don't we do a bundle themed around the Daily Doodle Diary? I think it might be cool, right? It might be cool to have a cute little sticker bundle for those who are taking part in the challenge or have been following along and watched a lot of the episodes. The biggest limitation in this shop is we can only list 50 items. That's what we need to plan out, and it adds up pretty quickly. honestly. But this time around, we can add variants to listings. That means things like the Peachtober prints from the initial launch can actually be put together in one listing and then have a drop down so you choose which one you want. So even though we have 50 listings, if we're smart about it, hopefully we can get quite a lot more items. At the moment, there are 50 on the shop, so in order to double the shop, we're gonna have to put a lot of them together. The Daily Doodle Diary is a huge 365-day sketchbook. The scans have turned out pretty good considering, especially for stickers. I think they're gonna work well, but this is the exact reason why I scan a piece that's been created for like the create this book or how much art can you make, my own art prompt book. I like to scan it before cutting it because once you put it in a book, it is a nightmare. The easiest thing to scan and edit really is a single sheet of paper. Although this clown here isn't too bad because it's actually spiral bound. Good to know for future. I mean, it makes sense. Ah, the wall is painted. You know how I initially said that the entire shop is based around the Scene series and the Inktober and a couple of individual stickers? Yeah, we're having a look for even more. I want this to be a big shop update. And we're gonna have a bookmark on the shop. On the page, it's gonna be below the square mini prints. Really, it's just to make the most of the supplies we have and be able to list things as affordable as possible. But unfortunately, these tiny little sketchbooks are very difficult to scan, so maybe not. One of the big difficulties of turning traditional art into prints and stickers. Today is test print day. I'm not like super scared like I was before because last time it was like if this goes wrong there's all my hopes and dreams gone. We've already been here. I know that I can make prints and stickers, but is it gonna work? Is it gonna work well? That's the question. I've got the glossy stickers. I ordered more matte paper. I think we'll do a couple of glossy prints. There's just something about traditional art being on matte paper because it looks closer to the paper that was originally used. Honestly, it just looks better a lot of the time, but we're gonna give it a go. My idea for Inktober is to do 4x4 squares and have them like this, but I don't know if it's gonna be too close to the margin, so we're gonna give that a go, and that's kind of where the bookmark idea comes in. Of course, we might print the first one and it doesn't fit, and then we're gonna have to completely change our plans, but you know what? This is why we do test prints. I don't know, I'll pop a couple in and we'll just see. We're gonna go with the flow for this. The files are ready, but this is my first shop update, not using Photoshop, so we will see. If each one has an outline, we're gonna know if we're missing anything. I am concerned. Oh, look at those colours. It's not that far off. Funnily enough, even though it was in the middle, this edge is fine. It's this edge that we've lost a little bit for. I wonder if for the next one, we can just move them a little bit closer and maybe that will fix it. Honestly, these colours are looking so good. Like, I can't believe how good they're looking just like that. Oh, that is so good. Even the bookmark looks cool. The plan is Inktober is going to be a bundle. The Scene series is going to be a bundle. 3 or 4 maybe. But here's the thing. If we can fit 4 prints per page, they can be cheaper because we're really getting the most out of the paper. But fingers crossed I can make this work. If we can fit 4 per page, oh, that'd be so good. Okay, this is the next lot. Unfortunately, Rowdy did disappear a little bit. I'm just gonna copy over the same bookmark. Number 2. Unfortunately, the black line is very thin on this side, so I'm not sure how much more we could go across. The colours are a little bit crazy as well. They might actually need to be toned down a little. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Let's try and see if we can fix this. Hopefully. I think it might be possible. Big 4 on 1 page. And the first Scene series prints are out. Look at the Terrifier. That is the first version. It is perfect. I had a quick peek, and honestly, now that I know what I'm doing, some of these first prints are pretty good. Are you ready? I don't know what to say. The colours are pretty perfect, and it's actually really lovely that I've now got my own version, because this was the Secret Santa gift as part of a big collab, so I don't actually have it anymore. I'm gonna have to put that up on the wall. I do wonder if a frame might be better. Oh, black might work, because that was why I painted the edges of the canvas. The sun is still out. I'm gonna go for a little walk, and I think tomorrow we're gonna check back for stickers, because the printer has been through a lot. It's the next day, let's see where we're at. These YouTube play buttons are the freebie stickers, but I think they are too big. They look absolutely huge. I had a couple of the matte sample sheets left, so I thought we could just fill these with stickers. You might recognize this from the shop launch. I just left the rest. But if we pop some laminate on, then it uses up leftover supplies. Just because I settled on the glossy paper, and obviously we can't use different sticker paper in the same listing. Now these are the same size as the other Create This Book pieces, the stained glass. And honestly, I think I'm pretty happy with the size. I'm not sure what laminate's gonna go on top though. I'm not sure if we wanna do slightly different ones or what. These are gonna be a bundle. The rest are gonna be in the Create This Book listing. This sticker is huge. This one went a little bit off. Unfortunately, the printer can never get the mint green right, so that needs to be tweaked a little bit. The elephant is a little bit dark. It needs to be a bit brighter. The skull, I think same again. It just needs to be a bit brighter. And I do want to try all of these on the clear paper just to see how they look. The characters are very surprising. They look pretty good, just like that. I think for now, I am going to stick with doing this size and selling them as individuals though. I was going to do a big bundle, but people might just want to buy their own star sign. I think it's good to have the option. I think Leo has turned out pretty good, Virgo's good, but maybe a couple of these need tweaking a little bit. I also need to decide if we're going to do a border or not. This one looks terrible, just ignore it. And I've been desperately trying to find out how we can make the corners round and round, but the characters are a success. Of course, everything still needs to be laminated, but we need to be able to see the colors to adjust it on the computer. I think these are a bit big. I made a smaller version here, and I think that goes better with the mystery minis. I think those look kind of big compared to these ones. Some of them worked better than others. His is going to be a big individual handcuff sticker. The test one isn't super strong. I brightened it up and that one looks a little bit better. I'm gonna have to figure that out. It looks pretty similar as it is, but the glossy does need more alterations. Now, the Secret Santa is huge. That's gonna be shrunk. Barry needs brightening, and I don't think that color frame goes. I think that's gonna be an individual sticker. The movies are looking pretty good. Moana is a little bit orange, gonna have to change that. Brighten up Mean Girls a bit. The Addams Family as well, that needs to be a little bit brighter. There's a lot of stickers. Now we're on to prints. The individuals are these two, the Secret Santa and the Clown, and I think I want to try all of those in glossy. There is a lot of definition there though, and I'm afraid that glossy might lose it. E.T. needs darker shadows, but I might print off some other ones just to see. I mean, they're all edited anyway for the stickers, so they're all ready to go. Honestly, that one is pretty perfect. Deal isn't quite white enough, so I'm gonna have to change that. Rowdy kind of disappeared like I thought it would. We've got a lot to do.
I can be stubborn, thinking I'm right. I can be late, cause I'm taking my time. I can be driven, ambitious, your best friend, love of your life. I can be selfish, trying to be kinder, always forgetting, needing reminders. But I'll always be there when you need me. Cause I know that two things can't be true. Cause I get so confident yet confused.
Some of these Inktober pieces are not gonna make the cut. Starfish isn't super strong. A couple of pieces being ink, kind of difficult to make out. Like a ward hair that might be fixed if we brighten it a little bit, especially because it's on glossy paper and then you're gonna have the laminate on top, which is probably gonna be hollow. Sometimes those whites end up a lot darker. We need it to be as white as the paper.
Between who I am and who I wanna be. Maybe I'm incomplete and a messed up masterpiece. Know everything and nothing, a childish 20-something with my pros and my cons, my mistakes and my flaws. Don't have it figured out yet. I'm a work of art and a work in progress.
It's been over 24 hours, so these pieces are ready for the cold laminate film. If you don't know, this is basically like a clear sticker to go on top of the sticker. It makes it a little bit waterproof and scratch resistant, as well as being hollow and pretty. It makes the sticker thicker and hardier. Technically, it's an additional step, but it's something I've always done to my stickers just to make them longer lasting on something like a sketchbook. Slight detour, we're going to the shops for something very particular. We need storage. Why are all of these designated craft boxes so small? Honestly, I think we're gonna have to use a big one. One for prints and a couple of little ones for stickers. Otherwise, they're not gonna fit. Of course, I'm currently working on editing the files and we're gonna do another test print round very soon. So it's probably gonna get changed up. Oh, it's been a little while since I've done this. I guess all of these are going to end up being B grades anyway. You know what? That was a pretty good cut. Get one of these. Grab this one because this is the size it's going to end up. Although, maybe that would be a good one to have as well. Yeah, just cut them off. Well, actually, this one is going to be a hand-cut sticker. This was just a test one. The hollow laminate on the Inktober pieces. Or do we go dotty? Oh, look at that. Do we go dotty instead? Dotty hollow. And they're actually going to be this size because I feel like the other ones are just a little bit too big to be a mini. That's not a mini sticker, is it? That's like an actual sticker. Oh, I'm so torn on that. I don't know. They both look really good. I might have to ask on Discord just to see. They look so good. I like both of them. I do. None the wiser. Then for the characters, I've got matte and I've got hollow. Oh, I don't know. I do think the hollow is special, especially in the light, but the matte is just so clear. I might have to ask about that one as well. As far as the rest of them go, I really like Barry being dotty. I think that's cool. Secret Santa, I wasn't planning on being dotty. It does obscure it. That was not the plan. This is what the movies look like being dotty. They're cool, but they're a lot clearer being matte. That's all the others being hollow. As for the rest, I did these in glossy. They're not actually going to be glossy. I don't actually have any glossy stickers on the shop. I just don't think it looks great. I think possibly we need to put a frame on one of these. And obviously they're getting brightened and color graded. I've done most of that. Maybe that should be slightly smaller as well, because this is all the Daily Doodle Diary bundle. These four are somewhat similar. Oh, okay, so for the Create This book, I did broken glass, and look how cool that looks. I love it. I'm not even gonna try any others. I think I'm gonna stick with this. So these two are the Pantone collab. They're gonna be a separate bundle, so maybe those are gonna be a different laminate. I don't know about these, but I also want to try them on a clear sticker sheet. I have one, got the file ready. I think this is gonna be a fun laminate on top, something like the Dotty or the glass. At the moment on the shop, there's this spooky bundle, the sea creatures and the animals, which are spotty stars and hollow. So maybe we need matte. Okay, I'm gonna ask Discord about this because I do not know. All I need to do is edit a couple of the new freebies, add them to the documents, and then we can do a second run of test prints and hopefully decide on the laminate this time around. We We have a bunch of little stickers to edit. These are going to be the freebies. So in your first order you get an eye, a planet and wheel. Then the second order is gnome and light bulb. I want to have a couple of options in case people place third orders, so you're not getting the same freebie stickers over and over. But also these stickers fit in the gaps on the page. And first time round we ended up with a lot of the first lot of stickers. This time we're trying to spread it out, and the little ones can be a perfect size to fill in those gaps on the sketchbook cover. I think it's handy. I think it's good to have different size stickers. I just cannot get these corners right. Do you see that? There's like a slight mark around the edges. I really want these to be round with round edges. It's not working. Oh, and a little side project. Look at this. Let's try something else. We need to fix these corners. However, the frames on the characters are looking so cool. Okay, these weird little corners are gonna be the death of me. What is this? Why are they white? They don't look like it on the screen. What is it doing? Also printing on 2 clear sample sheets. And this is looking very odd. Why is the ink just sitting on top? Rowdy is a little bit desaturated and we could actually see the doggy. Clear stickers are still looking a bit weird, but it's been 24 hours, so we can pop the laminate on. 'Cause I don't wanna care for you when I overestimate the way you do, and I don't wanna care for anything you do. You say we'll have a good Oh no, what is this? I was really hoping we could create some clear stickers, but why is it so bubbly? Maybe it was still wet. Here's the prototype for a different little bookmark. I'm not so sure. We've also got the forest from the Create This Book Neo color, the dinosaur and Secret Santa, all in glossy. Oh, plus the clown. Secret Santa, yeah, it's gotta be matte, hasn't it? Look at that. Oh, but the dinosaur looks better in matte too. Glossy is more professional, but it looks so much more flat, right? Like the colors aren't super rich in any of them. I don't know. Okay, let's get cutting.
Beginning, but the top dogs, which I think were the ebook printed, and now that I'm hoping to get you off my mind. I hope you have a good life, one that's separate from mine, 'cause I don't wanna be.
We need to plan. There are a lot more products than when we first began. What originally started as the Create This Book Nostalgia sticker bundle is now also the Pantone collab sticker bundle and the Daily Doodle Diary sticker bundle. Plus, I'm thinking of putting those free Inktober individual stickers together to turn into a bundle and maybe doing a different star sign character bundle. We also have extra Inktober and Scene series prints, which we really need to narrow down. Ultimately, Surprisingly, the ones that didn't get very high votes in the polls look kind of good. So these two are not making the cut. Very odd. The ones that got voted the highest in the poll were mostly the darker colors. It doesn't really represent my art style, so I think we need to have some of those brighter ones. We're also making the forest from the Create This Book Neocolor episode a separate print, but it's gonna have to be in a separate listing to the Create This Book ones. Yeah, we have a lot to organize. There's a lot more stickers than planned. You haven't actually seen this scene series episode yet. That'll be next Sunday. But we have to keep the Terrifier. And I love the Romeo and Juliet face. Some pieces printed a lot better than expected, and some printed worse. Oh, I cut myself on the guillotine. Looking at these stickers, I think this is going to be our first little matte sticker bundle. But we need to have stickers of all sorts of sizes. Some are hand cut, some are rectangles or squares. Some have frames, some have coloured borders. Some are going to be matte along with hollow. And then there's also dotty, stars, broken glass, loads of different types. Ultimately, for the characters, matte looks crisper. You can see all of those details a bit better. But in a surprising twist, I actually want to make a star sign bundle with the star hollow film on top. This is going to be a cute little mini bundle, but my thinking is that people will either buy a star sign they like, or maybe their own or their partners, and then the bundle is a fun collection where you can get all 12 as little mini stickers. I think it'll be fun to receive an order and open up a ton of different size stickers. Generally, I'm pretty good at organizing and planning. I don't mind making a good spreadsheet, but there have been so many iterations in this shop update. Every single one of these files has been tweaked a million times. Generally, when it comes to art, I don't really have perfectionism. I just create something in a sketchbook and close it and get on with my day. But products, that's a bit different. I really want to make these prints and stickers the best that I can. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know why it's so different to the art. I think it's the knowledge that people are paying for these items with their own money. So I need to make it as good as I possibly can. There's been a bit of a disaster. Let's switch the printer on and set a timer because we're doing a bunch of test prints and stickers. Hopefully the final ones. Okay, so you know we scanned everything in 1200 dpi and then edited the file in 1200 dpi. Well, when moving it over into an A4 document, apparently that was 300 dpi. Edited based on the prints and stickers in that document, and it looks kind of blurry. I've spent the last few days editing every single file in the original format and moving it over to a bigger version. That was a huge mistake. It's a new software, it's my fault, but hopefully we're all okay now. This is the current setup. I'm sorry, look how cool this is. I'm obsessed. It was a little bit of a nightmare printing and I had to fill in a lot of the areas, but they're looking pretty consistent now. Oh, they look so cool. Look at the different colors too. This is a separate video that will be coming out, well, next. Ah, not the corners again. Why are they haunting me? How are we gonna fix it? A little bit of research. I think we need to bake is the correct term. Baking kind of fixed these two, but what is wrong with this? Okay, back to the drawing board. Can you believe how many stickers there are? Yeah, a couple of mistakes, just ignore those. And these pages are super full. The perk of hand cutting stickers is that you can really make the most of the sheets and fill in every single gap. Once they're fully dry and we can add all this laminate on top. I think it's time to batch create a ton of prints and stickers now. We do have even more whoopsies. Sometimes the software likes to print a little different than what's on the screen, but I'm not too concerned. The whoopsies are a really big seller. We're good to carry on. Let's make the shop. I think the priority is stickers. With prints, you're really just printing it out, waiting 24 hours for it to dry, and then cutting it, all done. But with stickers, we need to print them out, wait 24 hours for them to dry, add cold laminate, and then cut them by hand. They're gonna take far longer, especially the hand cut stickers. Things like Inktober and the Create This Book are actually pretty good because we could use a guillotine. Half of the stickers can be cut with a guillotine, so it's not on the same position of your hand, it's not like hurting. And so really the only hand cut stickers are the free Peachtober individuals, which I've decided they're actually gonna be a bundle now. The Daily Doodle Diary, the Nostalgia Pack, I think that might be it. And then obviously the freebies. We need to prioritize the ones that are cut by hand because they are going to take the longest. And to be honest, I do think they're going to be the biggest sellers. Everybody likes a sticker pack. I like stickers. Everyone likes stickers. Oh, and Barry. We can't forget Barry. He's cut by hand. Okay, my personal opinion, I think the Nostalgia Pack is going to be the most popular. But that video hasn't even gone out yet, so I have no clue. Still, they have the most steps. They have the most labor involved. They need to be sorted out first. I have 50 sheets of dotty laminate in the post and also 50 sheets of rainbow hollow, but we are currently out of dots and they're going to be dotty. Just a little bit concerning. It's in the post. Goodies have arrived. You can't even see very much in this light, but we've got the hollow laminate and the dotty. I'm kind of staggering prints just to make sure that it's okay and there's no issues. Also, got these craft paper bags. This is pretty much 4 inches along, which means it should fit perfectly the Inktober prints, and then the movies will probably be about this long. So if you order 5x7 prints, they're all going to be in the big sleeve, and if it's just the mini prints, they are going to go in here. They actually feel really soft. They are just like paper. Other than that, I'm still packaging pretty much the same. The only thing I really want to bear in mind this time is the weight. I will use less envelopes and package it a little bit smaller to try and get it within that weight. Speaking of, I did a bit of research into packaging. Now, Royal Mail have just changed their prices, so I don't know if it's to do with that, but it turns out it's cheaper in the UK to ship a large letter than a letter tracked. So with a large letter, somehow in the UK, the tracked 48 service, I think it is the exact same price no matter the weight. Good to know. I do want to keep untracked or stamped shipping as an option because that is quite the difference. It is a little bit more risky, but I actually sent the giveaway item in December with tracked shipping in the UK to the UK, and it took like a month to arrive. So sometimes tracked doesn't really seem to be much better, so I do want to keep it as an option. I know if I'm buying from someone else and there's the option for stamped, I will just go for that. But obviously it gets a little bit tricky with tariffs. I've also looked into selling to the EU because I don't at the moment, and there is so much. You need like a representative with a number, you need an IOS number, there's a whole other thing for Germany. It's very difficult. I'm still looking into it because I would love to be able to ship to the EU, but it is so much more difficult because like Canada and Australia is just a customs form. US is a customs form as well, but I can actually do the tariffs at the same time. Still not as difficult as it is sending to the EU. Gonna keep looking into it. It's time to pick the whoopsies. There's a lot of obvious character ones, like the frame being a different colour. You can just about see that the quality is slightly better from the 300 DPI. Of course, if there's dust underneath the laminate, if the print is printed a little bit odd, all those unbaked corners. Why is this new corner rounder terrible? Okay, we'll stick to what we know. There's also these slightly smaller versions that were printed as intentional whoopsies, but this little freebie is tiny. I don't know what happened there. And this one has a little bit of dust. Those are the B grades we're looking for. These had a bit too much cut off. Looking at these two, I think we're gonna put round edges on the piano. Try and make each bundle interesting. By far the hardest sticker to cut in this shop update is this skull from the Inktober bundle. Having to tweak loads of them. The team at Jaden's have actually sent some more labels. Got a lovely big roll, and we actually got some little ones now. That size, which might look a little bit less weird on a letter. This one here is the label printer I've got. And honestly, now that we have a ton of labels, I will be printing out my own. I have gone to like 10 different post offices this last year, and every time I ask them if they can print the label, get the label, stick it on diagonal, put the customs form on the back diagonally as well. It's a whole thing. I mean, diagonally is a choice though, right? We have some more stickers to check over. Oh, there's actually one other thing that I want to do. Where did they end up? I literally just filmed the Art Studio makeover video, so I know it's in one of these. There, maybe? The thank you cards. I want to test a bunch of different pens on them and see what's going to be best, because obviously we don't want it to go through. I've really just been using a biro because it felt easiest. It doesn't look so cool. I think a marker might be better. Let's grab these. I'm pretty certain the acrylic will be fine. It will just take a little while to dry. This is the oil-based marker that kind of goes grey on the other side. I was hoping to use it, but we will see. Also this silver one, but I think, yeah, that's a little bit too thin. Maybe a water-based marker. Oh, that is a little bit odd. I've also got these, which I think are ink-based. Oh, that is nice. But again, it sits a little bit odd. These are acrylics too. Oh, that's nice. These ones probably as well. Like, do you see that? It's a bit strange, isn't it? The acrylics are good, actually. These ones didn't take too long to dry. Although, they do look cool as well. Maybe it's acrylic for the win. The oil-based does smell. It's actually not gone through at all. Oh. Actually, I do have these glitter ones to hand. They are bullet, but quite a lot comes out, so it's just seeing if that will affect anything. They're nice though. Oh, that's like orange. But shiny is special, so if we could do shiny, I'm probably gonna do that. Okay, I think it's acrylic for the win. Oh, look at those colors. A couple of things. Firstly, there are 2 orders to pack. I've mentioned that there's a big shop update coming for quite some time now. Maybe we need to make more, because I really didn't see that happening. Obviously, the shop is gonna have to close whilst it goes into listing mode. The photos all ready and edited. The descriptions already made. As much as we possibly can. Ah, look at that little cutie. So all of these stickers were cut upstairs. It's a nice little evening task you get to put a film on. I really don't mind it, and my partner helps too. But sometimes, especially with the shiny ones, it can be quite difficult to see where the edge is. So they just need a couple of alterations, which is a lot easier to do at daytime. The hollow is really good. It's kind of blinding, so you can't actually see when it's all shiny. Ah, that's so cute, the little bundle. Secondly, I've been thinking about getting a personalized tape, or one of those water activated ones, which I have heard mixed reviews about. I don't know, it's quite an investment, and I really don't know how much we're gonna need. So I have considered printing something myself. I got that matte sticker paper last time that kind of is spare if we need it for labels or something. And we could try and make our own little pieces of tape, like thin stickers. It was 100 sheets of A4 for £10. Yeah, that might be the easiest way to do it, actually. We'll have to check how waterproof they are. Well, not very. It's not the same as this sticker paper, and it's not going to have the laminate on top. I think nowadays packages don't seem to get as wet as they used to, because they seem to be shipped faster. They don't really seem to hang about as much. Yeah, the little mice are just harder to cut, so we're having to tweak them a little bit more than the elephants. Just in the corners there. Then, maybe some listing photos. I wanted to do some outside. I thought it might look nice taking them outside again and putting them like in front of the trees or in front of the flowers. There aren't really flowers right now. It's winter. So that's causing a bit of an issue. I don't want to digitally put them in and make the photos, so I do want to actually take a picture of the sticker, because then you can see what it actually looks like. You can see what it looks like with the hollow. I get the stickers done and then we'll work on that.
You used to hold me close in an ignorant bliss. I was starry-eyed, you were lemon kiss. Now I interrogate the memories, looking for signs. Were you ever here? Was this ever mine?
I'm feeling a lot better about this. This handful here is the good pile, and these are the whoopsies. Most are planned. Oh, good. It's finally time to take the listing photos. The tricky ones in the bundles are gonna be taken inside. This is a particularly tricky one because there's like 13 items in one listing. But then I want to take a handful of product and go outside. Let's take some different photos.
Woke up and I'm broke inside again. Said that I was gonna leave, but I'm here again. I'm stuck now, and I don't wanna lie. Feels like every chance you get to let me down, you always take and bring me back to the place I've always wanted far away. I don't wanna waste my time again. I don't wanna break my heart again.
Oh, okay. 2 orders all ready to pack, and then went to buy shipping and realised we can't ship letter mail anymore abroad. So apparently, alongside the tariffs, the USA, guess who, requested that letter mail be treated separately. So that means the entire basis of my business, which is small, cute art that can fit in a letter, is kind of gone out the window. It's a problem. We're gonna have to rethink the entire postal situation. When the shop first opened, it was like £3.20 to ship something stamped to the US. Now the tariffs are on top of that, and these letters have to be shipped as a large letter instead. What would have cost £3.20 is now £6, still not tracked, and that doesn't even include like the packaging. It's a real shame because I want to continue to offer untracked, but obviously like £6 shipping for something that's untracked, that if there's any problems with it, there's not really a lot that I can do. But also, of course, I want to offer free shipping for people in the UK, so I'm not sure where we go from here. The shipping's expensive, and if there are bigger, heavier orders, we're gonna have problems if it weighs more than 100 grams. The only good thing about this though is that we don't have to worry about the thickness anymore. Okay, gonna get planning, gonna have to change the FAQ section on the website, but there's also something I want to do. You remember we figured out how to have the rounded corners, and it's quite a few extra steps, but I want to change the Michelangelo and Medusa from last time to have it because I'm not a huge fan of that. And if we know how to do it now, I want to change the file, make them a little bit better. I think it's just those two that are affected by it, and obviously the earlier 10k free stickers. And we also need to print some more of the older stock. We're kind of running low. There's that perfectionism coming in again, but I'm much happier with these stickers. Now for the tape. Trying to take elements from the banner, but I think it's just a little bit too cluttered. Maybe simple is best. Make it look a bit more like a grid washi tape. But will it smudge? That's the test. It passed! We have washi tape. Kind of. One thing I like to do is stamp the back of my stickers. We created this in the previous video. Then if you keep your stickers in a drawer and they all get jumbled up, you can see which ones are actually mine. Just a little reminder. Another thing I like to do is use envelopes to package stickers. They're easier to get a hold of, they're easier to recycle. It's more obvious that they can be recycled, as opposed to the prints which come in recyclable clear packaging that looks like cellophane. It doesn't look recyclable, but it is. Oh, this is looking weird. Why don't we grab the brush markers? I did not expect bullet tips to look this bad. Writing words? Maybe it's me, maybe it's user error. Writing on the envelopes like this helps to also give it a homemade feel, because everything is created in the studio. I don't actually order anything in really, aside from the odd bit of packaging. Every single print and sticker is made in the studio in my house. So that should come across. If everything is lovingly handmade, the packaging should be too. Can you believe we're now on the final steps? It's been a crazy couple of months. It's been busy, but one thing that is super important to me is I do not want to miss an upload. On this channel there are new videos every Thursday and every Sunday, and whilst the small business is big and I desperately want to have even more items on there, for me personally I think it's super important to get those videos out to you, because without the videos there would be no small business. And that's why it's taken 2.5 months, but we're finally there. Almost. If you've made it this far, why don't you give this video a like? I also want to give a big thank you to my Patreon supporters who are always there behind the scenes. This time around, I want to speed up the packaging process and make it smoother. So, signing all the back of the prints ahead of time, I think is going to help with this. And then when it comes to packaging, all we need to do is add the hash number. Every single print is numbered that's ordered from my shop. Same goes with the bundles and all of the new prints. Of course, the Whoopsies aren't numbered, but hopefully this is going to save a lot of time in the long run. I think I never did this before because I was kind of scared that nobody would order. A lot of the decisions that were made were because of that. I didn't sign the back. I didn't make enough stock. I didn't buy very many packaging supplies. I didn't print out enough black card to go on the back of the prints, or write on enough envelopes for the stickers. And all of that was out of a fear that it wouldn't be successful. I've done this before, I've been here before, with print on demand. I started on Redbubble, I still have an imprint store, I made an Etsy store that was only digital items, and none of those were successful. So going into this shop, I had realistic expectations, and you guys have blown them completely out the water. I cannot believe how many orders we've had on the shop. It's absolutely crazy. So a very big thank you to you. In a crazy move, we are laminating the bookmarks, stamping and then adding a dotty hollow film on top. The bookmarks are one-sided, and I have seen paper bookmarks on Etsy, but to be completely honest, I think if I was going to receive a bookmark, I would hope that it would be laminated or have some kind of film on top, because otherwise it might get dirty quite quickly, especially if it's being used a lot, it's in a book or in a bag, and hopefully this is going to just add that extra layer of protection. Going into this shop update completely different. I want to be prepared. So we are batching all of this stock and even old stock, really trying to encourage myself to not be scared and prioritize being prepared instead. This is actually where the current shop ends, so everything below there is a brand new product. That includes entire bundles too, so it's definitely double the size.
Your frame walks into the window, giving me a picture of what I already know. In the darkness, baby, you sit so close. Press your hand up against mine, but only with the lights low.
And now we have an actual storage system for the shop. Everything is organized. I think this is gonna speed up packaging by quite a bit so that we're not rummaging and trying to find each one. So everything can be popped into its place. Edit those listing photos and the shop is now complete. Oh, this has taken 2 months and it's looking so much cooler. Thank you for joining me for another super long vlog. Hey, if you enjoyed this one, why don't you check out the studio makeover that's below, or maybe the shop launch video. There are more. Pop this emoji down below if you've made it this far. Have a little nose on the website if you like. And I'll meet you back here in a few days' time.